You've invested in the programs, you've downloaded the freebies, you've maybe even paid for the high-ticket coach, and yet here you are, still second-guessing your next move, still drowning in ideas, still stuck with a business that doesn't quite feel like you thought it would. You're not lazy, you're not unqualified, and you're definitely not broken. The problem? You've been taught to chase more information when what you actually need are shifts, deep internal success shifts that change the way you build, sell, and show up in your business. That's the difference between people who buy a course and never finish it and the ones who take the same content and turn it into customers, clients, brand partners, income, and momentum. So today I'm pulling back the curtain on what it's really like to work with me, and more importantly, on the 4 success shifts that help my students and clients stop spinning, start finishing, and finally sell. You're listening to the From Scratch podcast, the podcast for bold entrepreneurs who are done with cookie cutter advice, done with burnout, and done with building businesses that don't actually feel good. I'm your host, Kary, a near $1 million course creator, brand strategist, and business coach for women who are ready to do it differently. 7 years ago, I hit a level of success and still ended up crying on the bathroom floor. So trust me when I say starting from scratch isn't about starting over. It's about taking your power back and rebuilding on your own terms. Every week, you'll get unfiltered stories, bold strategies, and the mindset shifts you need to build with soul, sell with strategy, and grow something that feels like you. So let's get into it. I'll never forget the first time I dropped $5,000 on a coach. I thought, this is it. This is going to be the moment everything clicks. Instead, I got vague advice, generic templates, and a coach who didn't actually care whether I succeeded or not. I remember sitting there thinking, did I just pay $5K for this? That's when I made myself a promise. If I was ever going to lead programs of my own, my students would never feel that way. They would walk away not just with strategy, but with clarity, confidence, and actual results. And the reason my students and clients succeed isn't because they're smarter or have more time. It's because of the success shifts they make when they step inside of my world. So let's get into them. Because even if we never work together, these are the shifts that you need to move from scattered to sold out in your business. Success shift number 1. Stop hiding behind your brand. Start infusing you everywhere. The very first thing I teach my students inside Brand from Scratch is this. Your brand is not your logo. It's not your color palette. It's not how polished your feed looks. Your brand is you. And the moment you step into my world, I invite you to stop hiding behind the polish and start infusing yourself into every single corner of your brand. Because you can have the prettiest website, the perfect fonts, and the dreamiest grid. But if you aren't in it, it's forgettable. Magnetic brands aren't built on perfection. They're built on personality, voice, and values that people actually connect to. Think about it. What do you actually remember most when you fall in love with a brand? Not their hex code, not their filters. It's the words that made you feel less alone. The story that mirrored your own. The quirky little thing they did that made you smile. That's what sticks. That's what makes you magnetic. When you hold back, posting tips, looking professional, but editing out your quirks, your story, your truth, you blend in. But when you show up with the fullness of who you are, your audience feels you. And when they feel you, they remember you. And when they remember you, they buy from you. One of my students was terrified to let people know that she was neurodivergent. She thought it made her look less professional. But when she finally wove it into her brand, her audience started flooding her comments and DMs saying, I feel so seen by you. That one shift turned her from just another coach into the coach they trusted. And they bought from her. Here's your move. Write down 5 things about you that have nothing to do with your expertise or products. Your quirks, your obsessions, your values, your beliefs. Pick one and weave it into your brand this week. Through a post, a caption, a story, or a video. Let them meet the whole you, not just the curated version. Success shift number 2. Stop chasing consistency and start building intentional strategy. When students first come into my Content from Scratch program, the number one thing I have to rewire is the belief that posting more will equal more results. But here's the truth. Consistency without clarity is just noise. It's like filling your feed with pretty pictures and clever captions, but forgetting the most important part, where it's actually leading someone. And this is where so many people get stuck. They either lean all the way into attraction content, posting tips, trends, reels to grab more followers, Or they swing hard into conversion content, pushing offers and CTAs trying to get the sale. And then they wonder why it's not working. It's because they're missing the bridge in the middle. Nurturing content. Nurturing content is the content that builds trust, creates belief, and makes your audience feel safe saying yes. Without it, your followers may love your free tips but never buy from you. Or they may see your offers but not feel like they're ready enough to invest. Attraction content gets attention, conversion content makes the ads, but nurture content is what makes it possible for the ads to land. Without it, your strategy has holes that you desperately need to fill. One of my content from scratch students came to me completely burned out. She was posting every day, reels, carousel stories, even lives. She had engagement, sure, but none of it was converting because she was stuck in the attraction conversion cycle. She was teaching a lot, pitching sometimes, but she wasn't nurturing. Once we sat down and mapped her content to her sales path, adding posts that answered objections, shared her story, built belief in the process, it shifted everything. Her content stopped being scroll and forget and became magnetic. People started DMing her saying, "It feels like you're in my head." And that's when the sales started flowing in. That's the difference. Consistency will keep you visible, but intentional content strategy, where attraction, nurture, and conversion all work together, is what makes you profitable. So here's your move. Pick your current offer and write down 3 beliefs someone would need to hold before they buy it. Then scroll your last 5 posts. Did any of them actually nurture those beliefs? If not, that's your homework for this week. Choose one belief and create content around it. And don't just mention it. Tell a story that shows it. Share proof that backs it up, or connect it to a personal moment that makes it stick. When your content is tied to your sales path, not just to a trend or a CTA, it stops being noise and starts building profitable momentum. Success shift number 3. Stop collecting information and start implementing with support. This is the biggest permission slip I give my sales from scratch students. You don't need more information. You need to do something with the information you already have. I see it all the time. You're drowning in PDFs, notebooks full of notes, screenshots of templates, half-watched webinars, and yet your sales page still isn't live. Your automated funnel is still sitting in drafts. Your offer still isn't out in the world. It's because collecting information feels safe. It gives your brain the illusion of progress. Every time you download a freebie, buy a mini course, or highlight a strategy, you get a little dopamine hit, like, yes, I'm working on my business. But deep down, you know it's not actually moving the needle. It's just keeping you busy while you avoid the risk of doing the actual thing. Because once you implement it, you can be seen. Once you implement it, you can be judged. Once you implement it, you can fail. And that's why so many women entrepreneurs get stuck in information collection mode. It feels productive without ever requiring the vulnerability of action. But here's the truth. You'll never feel ready by learning more. Readiness comes from movement. Confidence is built by doing, not studying. One of my sales from scratch students had been circling the same funnel idea for months. She had notes from every webinar you can imagine, spreadsheets full of ideas, even pre-written copies she had never used. But nothing was live. Inside my program, she didn't just get more how-to information. She got a step-by-step path, done-for-you resources, and my support to actually build it. Within weeks, her funnel was live. Her emails were running, and she made her first automated sell into her online membership. She didn't need more information. She needed the clarity, the resources, and the accountability to finally do it. And here's what I want you to remember. Those who succeed aren't the ones who know the most. They're the ones who act on what they know. So here's your move. Look at your business right now and pick one thing you've been learning about forever. Is it launching a freebie? Writing your sales page, creating your course? Pick one. And this week, don't study it, do it. Even if it's messy, even if it's imperfect, because progress creates results and perfection just creates procrastination. Success shift number 4, stop force-fitting someone else's formula and start building what works for you. Let's be real for a second. You've probably bought a program, downloaded a strategy, or followed a guru's formula step by step, only to end up exhausted, discouraged, and wondering why in the world it didn't work for you. And then you start blaming yourself. Maybe I didn't try hard enough. Maybe I did it wrong. Maybe I'm just not cut out for this. But here's the truth. It's not you. It's the formula. Because your business is not supposed to look like anyone else's. Your brand, your audience, your life, all of it is unique. And when you force yourself into someone else's "this is the only way" blueprint, you silence the very thing that could make you magnetic. Your voice, your values, your strengths. I see this all the time in my one-on-one coaching. One client came to me after trying to follow a big name guru's exact launch plan. She did every single step right, but it left her drained, disconnected, and completely burned out. Worse, her audience didn't even respond because the whole thing fell out of alignment. When we scrapped that formula and rebuilt her strategy around what actually worked for her energy, her audience, her style, it all clicked. She didn't just get sales, she felt relief. She said, "This finally feels like me." And that's when her people leaned in. You don't win by being a knockoff for someone else's strategy. You win by creating something that fits you so well it becomes sustainable, profitable, and authentic. When you build around your strengths, not just against them, your audience feels the alignment, and that's what makes them buy. So here's your move. Write down one strategy you've been forcing yourself to follow because everyone says you should. Maybe it's launching a certain way, posting on a certain platform, or pricing like everyone else does. Now ask yourself, does this actually fit me, my life, my audience? If the answer is no, it's time to release it. Replace it with one action that feels aligned and effective. Because when your business feels right to you, it finally starts working for them. This stuff isn't just theory. These success shifts are exactly how my clients and students go from invisible to magnetic, from scattered to sold out. It's why they finish. It's why they sell. It's why they succeed. When you step inside one of my courses or into my coaching space, you're not just getting lessons. You're getting a system that's designed to move you forward. You'll get the frameworks that simplify the chaos, the done-for-you resources that help you implement faster, and the real support that makes you believe in yourself again. That's why students call my programs life-changing, not just for their business, but for how they see themselves. So if you're listening right now thinking, okay, I need clarity on where to even begin, Kary, start with my Glow Up quiz. In less than 2 minutes, you'll know exactly which area of your business needs your attention right now: brand, content, or sales. So you can stop second guessing and start taking aligned action. Head to the link below or take the quiz today at karyperry.com/glowup-quiz. And if you already know you're ready for personalized support, my one-on-one coaching calls are where we map your exact next steps together. No fluff, no cookie cutter formulas, just clarity, strategy, and momentum tailored to you and your business. You can pick yours today at the link below or at karyperry.com/coaching. You don't need to be louder. You don't need to do more. You just need the right shifts, the right support, and the right strategies to finally step into the version of you that's been waiting. And that's exactly what we'll do together.